Good evening. It's great to be back with you again today on Sharing with Yemi. I hope you're all keeping safe and keeping well. It's been another day gone by, and thank God that we're here, we're alive, we're well, we're keeping well, and that we can give praises to the Most High for making us a part of another day. We had a great time yesterday. For those who didn't see the show yesterday, well, you can always play back. Make sure you go and play back. We had an amazing time with our guest yesterday, and we had lots of fun. For me, that was the best part of it. I always say, have fun in whatever it is you're doing, right? We had great fun yesterday, and I'm hoping that today we will have even more fun. So if you've joined us today, please connect and let us see you. Let's see that you're here today with us and sharing with Yemi. It's another great episode of the show. And today we're going to be talking about how we're coping with the children at home. Like I was saying earlier to some of my guests, that there is no book teaching us what to do at this period because we didn't know this was going to happen. So let me know that you've joined us here today. We're going to do something really special and interesting today. One of our guests, a family that is joining us today, is joining us all the way from France in Toulouse. And I'm actually going to welcome Greg to the show right now. Hi, Greg. Welcome.
Hello, Yemi.
How are you today?
Fine. Thank you.
Very good. Where's Elise? Where's your beautiful wife? I can see.
I think it's starting to clap outside.
Okay, so Greg is going to take us outside. Yes. Is it starting?
In a few seconds, because as you might know, in France, what we're doing every night, we're clapping for the frontliners. We're clapping for everybody, and it's going to start in a few minutes.
This is interesting. This is very, very interesting because I know that some countries come out every once in a while. In Ireland, last month, we came out one day. We all stood out and we clapped for our frontliners. But it's not something we do every night. So it's great to hear that in Toulouse, in France, you do this literally every night. Every night.
Yes, but it's a little bit late today. Starting, trying to show you some people right there on white building there.
We can hear people clapping already. I can hear the claps.
It's starting just a little bit, and it's going to be quite loud in a few minutes.
Wow! So this happens this is 7 o'clock in Ireland at 8 o'clock your time. Oh wow! Wow.
Bonsoir.
This is incredible.
You can hear some pans, people banging pans. Bonsoir. Bonsoir, madame.
Bonsoir.
Okay, so.
Wow, this is incredible. So this happens every day in France?
Yes.
At 8 o'clock your time?
8 o'clock, yes. 8 o'clock is the time. Well, everybody claps for the frontliners, for the doctors, nurses, and everybody who still makes the society work in this.
Just incredible. This is incredible. It's great to hear that happening in France. I know a few countries do the best to appreciate frontliners, but knowing that you guys do it on a daily basis, maybe that's something that we can take from you. Just have a time that we come out on a daily basis and just appreciate our frontliners because they're the ones that really keep us going these days. Yeah. That is amazing. Well done. Viva la France. So welcome to Sharing with Yemi, Greg, and thank you for sharing that beautiful moment with us. I know that this time is dinner time for you guys in France.
Yeah.
So you're actually sitting at dinner right now. Am I right in saying that?
No, I'm the only one sitting at dinner right now because I still got some. Elise, my wife, is outside and she'll be coming back, and my kids are stuck on the computer right there, and they've got to. On sort de l'ordinateur, on va manger les garçons. Allez hop.
Oh wow, very good, very good. It's great to see the family together.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So welcome. Joining us as well, I have guests from here in Ireland joining us on the show today. Please welcome Tom and Joe Reilly. You're welcome to sharing with Yemi, Tom, and Joe.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Auntie Yemi. How are you?
I'm very, very good. It's great to have both of you on the show today. Hey, Joe, give us a smile, Joe. Give us a smile. And also joining us and sharing with Yemi today to share of the experiences are this great couple, the Adesanyas, joining us here on Sharing with Yemi today. Say hello to everyone, Adesanyas. You're welcome to Sharing with Yemi.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for inviting us, Auntie.
It's great to have you here today. It's really good. It's great to have you all on the show today. So, like you all know, we're going to be talking about what it is like for us with the kids. Hi, Elise.
Hi.
So Elise and my eldest, Maël.
Hi, Maël. How are you today? Bonjour.
Aujourd'hui. Good.
Ça va?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Ça va bien. My French is a little rusty, but I try.
Well, his English is practicing English too, but it's difficult for him to talk.
No worries at all. So your French is my French is as good as your English. Okay, so we're going to kick off the show today. I want to welcome everyone who's joined us. We're taking a trip around, and if you missed the part where Greg shared with us the beauty of what the French people are doing on a daily basis, coming out at 8 p.m. the French time, which is about 7 p.m. Irish time, and just coming out and clapping, appreciating the frontliners. I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think it's something that we can imbibe even here in Ireland. We do a great job of appreciating our frontliners here in Ireland. I think we're doing well so far, and it will be something to add to what we're doing. So today we're going to be chatting about how we're coping with the kids being at home, what we're doing as parents. Like I said earlier on, nobody told anybody what the month of March and April would be like. And we don't know what May we even hold, or June. These are really, really difficult and challenging times. Everything is totally new. I was speaking with an auntie of mine a few days ago, and she said it feels like we went to bed, had a dream, and we felt, oh my God, that was a bad dream. And we woke up and we were in the dream. Completely different. And there's no manual telling us what to do. So today, we're going to be listening. You guys are going to be sharing with us and my audience what you're doing to cope with the children being at home. So I will start with you, Joe and Tone. Tell us about your family. How many kids do you have? And what is it like for you these days?
We have 3 young children. Grace, who's 8, Esther, who's 5, going on 6, and a toddler, JJ, he's 2. So, like you said, it is challenging restricting your kids inside. I suppose it is a little bit of a silver lining when we've had a bit of good weather the last days, where we can go out the back garden maybe, or the front garden, and play with the kids, where you're kind of still within your own home basically. So but yeah, it is a challenge at the moment.
Okay, so I will come to the Adesanyas. Tell us what's your family structure like? How many kids do you have, and what are things like for you right now?
Thank you, Auntie, once again. We have 3 girls, and the first one is turning 18 on Sunday.
Wow, happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. Thank you. The second one is 16. That's the very active one. And the third one is 14. So it's not been bad, but sometimes it could be, because, like I said, the second one is like she's into sports. She plays football, and then she wants to keep practicing. She wants to go for walks. She wants she wants to do almost everything. She wants, mommy, can we go for a walk? So we went for a walk yesterday, and with schoolwork as well, it's quite challenging.
Wow.
And they keep giving them school walks, and it kept piling up because over this the Easter break, one of them didn't even take time out at all. And I forgot to say that we had two girls that are doing. One is doing living cert. The 18-year-old is meant to be doing living cert, and then we have the 14-year-old doing the junior cert. So it's been quite hectic. It's been there's been a lot of mixed feelings. There, some sad days, some bad days, depending on the news. That we get about about maybe they're doing living cert, or maybe they're doing junior cert, whether it's going to be postponed, or it's going to go ahead. So it's been quite overwhelming.
It's not been an easy task for you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
thanks for sharing that. Greg, I'll come
Yep.
to yourself and Elise now. What's your family like? How many kids do you have? And what's the setting like in your home right now in France?
Okay, so we've got two kids, two boys, Maël, who is 12, and Auden, who is just turned 7. So it was pretty special to have his birthday during this lockdown.
Yeah.
Without any friends and all that. But for us, we're both trying to work a little bit at home. And it's pretty complicated to sort that out with the kids, especially the kids schooling, trying to teach them. And I'd like to say that being a teacher is really, now that I've lived that, I really think it's underpaid. You really need to pay more the teachers.
Oh, wow. An uncle of mine has always said that the teachers are the ones who actually should be getting the highest pay anywhere in the world. And maybe this is the time we'll see that. Well, fair play to teachers. Now we see what they've been doing. Well, not that we didn't know before, but now we understand better, the great work that they've been doing. So I'll come to you again, Greg, and yourself and Elise. What has been the biggest challenge with having the kids at home right now for both of you? What's been the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge for me is to have time for walking.
Yes.
So they're always there. It's as if they're always getting in the way.
Yes, we've got about our house. We've got a small house with and both Maël and Auden are in the same room, so they can't stay together all the time. So they have to come in the main. They've got to come into our room, even if we need to work. Our room has become the office for both of us.
Wow.
So we've got to switch. Okay, I'll be working at that time. Then Elise will be working on another time, and then the kids crash into the bedroom to, hey, I need something. Hey, my brother is annoying me, and so it's pretty difficult, especially with the small one.
So how have you been able to manage that over the past few weeks? Tell us what you've been doing.
We're managing so and so. I'd say it's not something that we've completely solved. I mean, we don't have a schedule. We don't have it depends on every day. And also, we've got to add the fact that they've got their own needs and they've got their own studies to do. So we've got to give them the time, the space, and our availability for them to learn and for us to teach them. And that's not easy to do with the work too. Like being available at all times, it's difficult.
Actually, it's a very special time now, and for the kids, it's very special. So I'd like to be with them to get together and through and pass through this period, this time with all together, and being for them for affection.
Yes.
With them, caring, but I also have responsibilities in my job, and we also we are a team. I'm a sign language interpreter.
Okay.
We are a big team, so I have also responsibilities for my team and for deaf people. So it's very difficult for me to be with my team and with my family.
So it's trying to combine work and caring for the family at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quietly, yes.
It's
Difficult.
Okay, Joe and Tone, I will come to you. What's been your biggest challenge so far? Having the kids at home.
Should I go for this? To be honest with you, I don't know if you're aware that we are homeschooling. We're homeschooling the kids.
Okay, yes, I know, but I mean, I know people don't know.
Yeah, so we're actually
Can
homeschooling them.
you explain that? So for those who don't understand what that is.
Homeschooling is where we have the kids at home. We decide to go for private, that we want to be the one impacting knowledge into their life. And at a certain age, we have to get in touch with the government, with the authorities, whereby they're going to send an official home to register your child legally. So, and yeah, everything was fine. And yeah, it was good. So we've been homeschooling them. And
Pause you there before you go forward.
okay,
So ever since they were your kids, you've got 3 kids, and 2 of them are of school age.
yeah.
Yes. So ever since your first 2 were old enough to go to school, they've never been in the 4 walls of a school. They've been going to school at home.
Well, just to clarify on that, sorry, we with Grace and Esther, who are currently at primary school level, we opted to go for 1 year of Montessori for both of them. But even before then, with both of them, we kind of informally homeschooled anyway. So with Grace, we noticed in particular, we would start getting questions from the Montessori teachers asking, great, we went through this and this with Grace, and she already knows it. What's the story? And we'd been doing a lot of the stuff that they were doing in the Montessori informally anyway. So, and we confirmed that was the reason. They said, you can see it's really given her a head start. So once both of those 1 year of Montessori's Montessori schooling was completed, we started junior infants. We started like more formal kind of homeschooling from junior infant level.
And basically,
go on, Joe. Go on.
yeah, basically we use the normal school curriculum for them as well. So that way they're not kind of behind their mates, just in case if they're kids, like they might meet each other and start asking each other question. So that way they're not kind of like don't know what to do or what to say, or the response to give back to their friends and colleagues, yeah. So it's been a good experience for us, the fact that we're homeschooling. So with the lockdown thing, I would say the only challenging thing that we find different is just the fact that he is working from home, so the routine is kind of different, and it's just a mental and psychological thing as well. They're not deaf. Grace is very intelligent, she's very smart, she hears the news, she knows what's going on out there. Likewise Esther. So they know there's a lockdown, they know schools are closed, so there'll be times they will say, "Mommy, do we have school today? Mommy, I thought they've locked down the school." And I'll be like, "Yeah, but you're homeschooling." And the funny thing with homeschooling is it gives us a bit of edge over what they're doing in normal school, because you're attending to you're doing a one-on-one with a child compared to like a couple of kids in the class. You know what I mean? And so they are really above in what they're doing. She's nearly finished most of her books for the whole year. So
Wow.
the plan was we're gonna go back doing revision. So now, because she's very smart, now because she knows there's a lockdown, they both know what's going on. They take advantage of that. And for me as a mother as well, mentally I am drained because of the whole situation. So I'm not in my right frame of mind. So there'll be times I'll be like, okay, you know what? Just do whatever you want to do. If you want, they've got like 3 subjects left for the rest of the year. I'll be like, okay, just do whatever, and then they will show me, "Mommy, this is what we've done." They could decide they want to do drawing, whatever they want to do. I'm just kind of taking it easy with them because I know because they know what is out there. So you don't
that the other kids are not in school.
exactly. So I'm not really putting pressure on them. Like, we're not really doing anything serious. I just want them to just kind of like be okay, because we all have to survive this.
Absolutely.
So
Before I go to the Adesanyas, I just wanted to ask you there too. With the homeschooling, who's the teacher at home? You're the teacher.
I do the full time. Yeah, I do the full time teaching. And to be honest with you, with homeschooling, you don't need to be a professional. A lot of people have asked me questions like, did you, like, are you a qualified teacher? Trust me, you don't have to be a qualified teacher to do homeschooling. And the beauty of it was, before we even ended up deciding that I wanted to do homeschooling, because he's more of the homeschooling person. Me being a Nigerian, it was trained to me. But along the line, I got convicted. And I met a couple of families, a couple of missionaries in America when we visited them, and I saw the way the outcome of this idea, and I loved it. And I'm like, well, I will leave it to God. If God really wants us to do it, it will convict my heart. And at the point, in reality, I felt it, and I knew, okay, yeah, I can do it through Christ that strengthens me. And it was fun. And the thing is, like I said, you don't have to be a professional. The thing is, it helps me as well. It broadens my knowledge as well. And there'll be things that you will see for primary school kids that you'll be like, wow, this is challenging. And then you start cracking your head. So it's
Yeah.
refreshing my knowledge as well. And it gives us that bonding time as well. And you know, the time that the teachers are investing into them, I'm investing it and I'm getting it back from them, because it makes us closer. I get to know them deep down as my friends, as my kids. I get to know their ability. I get to know what they're good at. I get to know what they can really do aside education, because they are free with me. We can talk together. We can do it's just fun. I'm just enjoying it, to be honest.
Very good, very good. We'll have a bit more chat about this homeschooling thing, because as you're talking about this, it's striking me as a possible alternative for the future. You know, it's something that we really haven't thought about. Every child is in the four wall of a school, and now we're all stuck home. And if maybe perhaps in times past we'd considered homeschooling, maybe the kids would still be schooling, but at home. And so maybe this is something to consider. We will come back to this. I want to go to the Adesanyas now. So I wanted to share with us what's been your toughest challenge having your teenagers at home, because I mean, your situation, you have active young adult. Well, they're not adults yet, but teenagers. Especially your middle child who is very active and now wants to be out there, but is being told you can only go 2 kilometers. After that, you have to be back in the house. So what's the challenge for you?
The challenges have been that the young lady in question that you just mentioned now, she happens to be a footballer.
Oh wow!
And being a footballer, you have to keep active every time. And for the lockdown to come, and the games that the training that she would normally attend during the week was normally, I think they would do 2 trainings, sometimes 2 trainings during a week. And now that's cut to 0. That's cut to 0.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit challenging for herself. And she is somebody who is very outgoing. Even when there is no football to attend, when there is no church service going on, when there is no activity that involves the family, she wants to be out to just maybe take a walk, take a stroll, or be out to the shopping center with her friends. So that has been very, very challenging on our part. And looking at the other children as well too. Everyone, I can let you into this now. Everyone in the house at the moment, including myself, we are all students.
Wow. Okay. So mommy and daddy is as well.
The school work is still coming to my computer. The schoolwork is coming to my wife's computer as well, and the children are getting their own dose of it as well.
I know.
So nobody is left out. There will be times that will be in the house, and the house will be so quiet because we are all concentrating on what we are supposed to do. So I limit that only to the morning time into the afternoon times. And when we get off that, maybe the one that want to come calling to ask for a company to do a walk or to do some jogging, they will come calling towards the evening time. I will say I have enjoyed the time because it's given me a lot of chances to get to know the children in their growing ages. It's really giving us a bit of time, because for the past 3 years now, I've been traveling Dublin, Dundalk every working day of the week. And that has, like, most of the time when I'm getting into the house, it will be around like 8 o'clock, 8:30. And that would be the most time that we'll spend with the kids. Then me coming in that late will be like max of it 2 hours or 2.5 hours daily. But with this year now, we are able to relate with them and we are able to carry them along with what is going on. We are still educating ourselves on daily basis on what is going on. And we are trying to keep the biggest aspect of it will be trying to calm the kids down, because they've not known what is called a pandemic. They've never heard of anything called pandemic. And all of a sudden, like you said, it's like we went to bed, we woke up all in a dream. And you yourself as a parent, you are trying to stay calm, not to panic in any way, because a lot of things will come on the a lot of people will come on the social media and share things that are very, very,
very scary.
Yes. And one good thing that I've done before now is stop the children from being exposed to a lot of social media stuff.
Yeah.
So at the moment,
we are important. Yes, I think that's quite important at this time, that parents
it is.
Focus on what the kids are watching.
Very
doing on social media. I think it's very important. Let's have a little chat about that. Before we do that, I just want to welcome anyone who's just joining us. If you're just joining us, this is Sharing with Yemi, the talk show. And today we're having a conversation about how we're coping and managing with the kids at home in this difficult times. And my guests are Greg and Elise Volta from France, Toulouse. It's great to have you guys here. I've got Joe and Tom Reilly, who are homeschooling, and perhaps this is an idea that parents might begin to consider. And I've got Wale and Tokumbo Adesanya as well, who've got teenage kids at home with them, and they're all in school. Mommy and daddy are in school with the kids, and this is a really busy time for all the members of the family. I want us to have a quick conversation about what we should be saying to the kids. So let's talk about what you guys said to the kids. I'm sure kids have asked you questions. My kids asked me a lot of questions when they were just told no school. I've got my girls are grown, they're older. Like my first is 26, my second is 19, and then I've got two boys who are 12. My first son was 12 yesterday. So we had a little sing along for him for his birthday. And then my youngest one. So they've asked me loads of questions, the youngest kids, about why they were not going to school. And I had to, myself and my husband had to try and explain to them what Corona is, and, you know, some of the news that heard in school that were a bit scary. Had to try and calm them down. What kind of questions have your kids asked you? And what kind of answers did you explain? You know, what kind of answers did you give them? How were you able to explain to them? Greg, I'll come to yourself and Elise there.
Well, for us, for the eldest one, the male 12, we're watching the news all together, and when we're taking time to explain them the news every time.
Yeah, Greg, France is a little different. If I'm correct, in France at 8 o'clock, you all watch the news together at 8 o'clock in France. That's what you all do every day.
That's what we do since the lockdown. We never did that before because of our schedules and our everything was frantic. But now we're doing that because that's the way we get most of the information. We're trying to find other sources on the internet, on other newspapers. It depends on what we're looking for. But the thing is, we're talking. We've always told as much as we could for the kids to understand. In every single time. So with the lockdown and the virus, the same thing. We're telling them what's happening. For example, Maël is can be quite upset about the number of deaths that are happening every day in France, and he's starting to realize what it really means. But she's also aware of what's being done to prevent more death, the fact that the hospitals are overwhelmed with people. In France, the situation is, I don't know about Ireland, how dire it is, but in France, we're talking about tens of thousands of deaths, 15,000 dead people, I think.
We
today. So it's really huge, and it's So we're trying to get them informed as much as we can, because they don't have social network accounts. As I'm in charge of the Wi-Fi, I know that they don't.
Is that deliberate?
Yes, right. Well, he's we still he still doesn't have a computer, and we're trying to take some time for
away,
him to be responsible about that. But
Yeah.
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Right now, we're watching together and we're sharing with them and we're explaining as much as we can.
Oh, wow.
The
Wow.
fact is, we are in charge of educating human being. So we never said bullshit. We never told about Santa Claus, for example. Maybe they
Believed in it.
They believed in it, but because of the society.
Yeah.
But we always say the truth. But we never give too much answers. Too many answers. We answer of their question.
They ask and you give the answer.
Not more.
No.
Very good. I like that. I mean, let me ask you. I'll come to you, the Adesanyas. Greg said there. Greg and Elise said there about controlling the social media access of their children. I mean, that's a challenging thing in this age and time, but it seems like something they've been able to do successfully. And in a way, it's protecting the kids, especially in this very challenging time, from all the news out there. There's so much coming in that if you're not careful, even I've seen grown-up people break down just watching a story on WhatsApp page, something that was forwarded to them, and they just literally broke down crying. So how do you think that's something practicable for yourselves or for families generally?
Yeah, we try as much as we can, but then it can be quite hard to to filter through teenager stuff. So between myself and my husband, to be honest with you, my girl that's turning 18 years now in a few days just got a WhatsApp account. Was it, I think, last year? So she doesn't have Instagram, she doesn't have Twitter, she doesn't have Facebook. So
Are you
if she's
joking?
getting any
And she's
news,
18. Now she's gonna be 18 or
yes,
I
no,
would say I'm the one that played a very hard dad.
yeah.
Well, I have to say, my house we're strict as well with social media. My daughter, who is 19 now, still doesn't have a Facebook page. I know some people
So
might
my
think that's ridiculous, but
And it's really good that you have done that, man.
yeah, she
It's
doesn't have
really
a
good.
Facebook page. She connects with her friends. She's on Instagram, but her Instagram page is literally almost non-active, right? But she does connect with her friends, and she picks her friends. I think that's as a result of the things we've shared with them about being conscious of who really is your friend. So we're not interested in having loads of friends. My kids are all like that. So I connect with you there where you're saying that they don't have, but it's a bit difficult for a lot of people to understand and to believe. When you say that your kids who are acing or teenagers don't have a social media account.
And the most important thing that we as a family we do is we put God at the center of everything. Because you can't just say, oh, you can't have this, you can't have this, you can't have this. If you can't have something, you have to explain to them why you cannot have that thing.
Very key.
So that's we say, okay, you can't have Facebook because of maybe say the contents that might be in those things, or say for example the pedophiles out there. Because my daughter came home one day, I think it was during a few months ago during school. They hear about all those things from their friends anyway, but then we try to to protect them as much as we can. So my daughter came to me and she said, oh, because they walk home from once in a while, so she said, oh mom, they told us my friends were telling me to be careful because some guys were trying to kidnap a girl on the streets. So all this things get around even without all this social media as well. There are friends of them that will have such, and then they will through that they will get the information. So what we try to do is just try to protect them as much as we can. So the second one had maybe she had, like she's so outgoing. She wants to try everything. So she got a WhatsApp about the same time her sister got WhatsApp. But then she kept coming to us, when can I go on Instagram? Can we go on Instagram? But she at the end of the day, we let her go on it. But after a couple of months, we asked her, so how's it going with your Instagram account? And she said, Mom, Dad, it's really nothing. But if you don't let them see that all those things, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna fed up. You're
That
gonna
is
be
no
fed up
big deal,
looking at it.
really.
So it's just for us, we'll say it's only by the grace of God.
Wow, this is
So
quite interesting. And I mean, as you guys are sharing this, I'm hoping that people who are listening will be able to pick out, what really works for them. Because, like I said at the beginning of the show, with the situation we're in now across the globe, there's no right or wrong. It's really about safeguarding the safety of our children. At the end of the
Yes.
day, they are our children. Like Elise said earlier on, we are responsible for a set of human beings. These children are human, every
Yes.
which way you look at
Yes.
it, they have life and they need to be taught. And
mm,
whatever way they're taught outside, at the end of the day, the bulk of that work in shaping them is
yeah,
it lies on us, and it's dependent on what focus or what direction we give them. And I
yeah,
suppose there's no better time to do it than now, when we're
than
all at
now.
home
Yes.
spending time together. No better time than now. If you're just joining us, this is Sharing with Yemi, and it's great to have you with us today. I'm going to take a few comments. We've had a number of people joining, and with great comments coming in. Thank you for being here. Pat says, "Wonderful, viva la France." So Pat sending you messages across the waters to you, Elise and Greg. Thanks for sharing your beautiful stories with us. I've got Debola here saying, Debola Sekina says, interesting topic. Yes, we're loving this as well. Shirley Tuti. Hi, Shirley. Shirley was a guest on the show a couple of weeks ago. And Shirley says, I trained as a forest school leader and have brought children to the forest for school nature, for school. Or school nature is a much more fun way for learning. That's quite interesting. And I mean, it will be something to explore after COVID is over. I suppose this is not the time for that, but it
Yes.
sounds like a brilliant idea. Look, I always talk about education not being just within the four walls of a school. Our entire life is an institution, and we learn every way, we learn every day. So there are
Yeah.
different ways to learn as well. So thanks for sharing that, Shirley. It is well worth it looking at homeschooling as future alternative to the status quo. This is Debola Sekina sharing that. Absolutely, I quite agree with you. We've got Condi here saying, my daughter doesn't have Facebook either. My girl has Instagram and we watch over that. Social media can be very bad disease. And we need to be very careful with that, mostly during this lockdown, which is true. And I suppose that comes from just wanting to have our own time. And we say to the kids, you can go and watch what you want to watch. You can go and spend time with yourselves in your room, and you can play something or watch something on social media. There's that danger, happening right now. I'm going to take one more from somebody. I've got Gogo Rita Zomba, who's joining us from Tanzania. And she says, I love this topic, Yemi. Thank you, Gogo. It's exactly what I teach kids about social media accounts, etiquette, and their responsibility for others and for themselves. Gogo is an etiquette teacher across the globe. So thank you for sharing that, Gogo. I'm going to come to yourselves, Joe and Tone, and you've got little kids. Do they have social media accounts, or how do you guide them through social media generally? Because these are really smart kids and they ask a lot of questions and they see a lot of things. What is this like for you in your household with social media?
The age our kids are, you mentioned it, obviously they are young kids. I suppose it hasn't really come up as that much. I mean, they are aware, particularly Grace, of it, in that I have a Facebook account. Adetoun has a Facebook account and things like that, where it's bound to happen where maybe you might be sitting down, just chilling on your phone or something, checking your notifications, and they see things like that. The one thing I've noticed, I suppose, and from watching TV and things like that, that's something I wasn't even aware that existed, but it seems to have just blown up during this COVID-19 pandemic, is the application TikTok. I'd never heard of that in my life, but I put on Sky Sports and I watch football programs, and it's football players at home with their kids going on TikTok doing stuff. And my daughter and Tone, my wife, Grace, my eldest daughter, started explaining to me what TikTok is, and apparently it's very popular with children to do dances and performances on. But to be honest, I haven't really looked into it.
It's popular with adults as well. I see lots of adults talk on their social media pages.
I think on the aspect of the social media, like my husband said, that the kids are not exposed to that, but the application that he's talking about, the TikTok thing, sometimes you're looking for coping mechanism, and with the way everything is now, because usually they're not allowed electronics every during school days. They're only allowed on Friday evening, and we collect it from them over that period of time before school as well. But since this all lockdown, we can't go out, we can't visit families, we can't do our usual thing. Our life has changed, things are different. So we in a way to kind of like substitute things for them, we had to let them have the tablets occasionally like that. Most of the time, when at our free time, we all watch something together. We watch things together, and I think that is where parental guidance come in. And I think once you have that relationship with your children, they have that fear in them, either when you're there or when you're not there. There'll be times that maybe they're watching a movie or something that is even kids movie, and they say something, maybe a cuss word or something like that. Straight away, they'll be like, "Mommy, did you say the dirty word there?" Straight away, they're not watching it. So I think is what you've impacted in them. So whether you're there or you're not there, you know your child. You know who your child is. So that gave me the confidence when I saw the TikTok thing and Grace talked about it with me. I said, "Mommy, can I sing? There's this TikTok thing," and she has seen people. And I said, "Okay, you know what? She can't just go on it. She can't do it because she needs an adult." That is where parental guidance come in as well. So I had to sign in with my email account. I had to set it up for her. So she does things. So when she's doing her music, she comes to me to show me, "Mommy, what do you think of this? I'm doing the dance. Mommy, can I post this?" There'll be times I'll be like, "No, that is messy. Like, no, do another one. Okay, let's see." And there'll be times she will say, "Mommy, can we do a duet? Mommy, let's do this together." She even said to my husband, "Let's do a family one." So I think it's just their own way of just coping and trying to kind of like enjoy that moment, even in the absence of even despite what is going on. Just to try and stay insane, and not to go crazy. So because usually we'll probably visit my mother-in-law.
Yeah,
and
it's a challenging one, trying to stay sane. Yeah.
So it's just a way of coping. So that's the only thing that I would say they go on. You know what I mean? So, and I'm always aware they don't do it behind me, and it's all about their favorite music and stuff like that.
Okay, so Wale and Tokumbo, do you know what TikTok is? Do you know that application TikTok?
I don't know anything about it.
I actually heard about it a few days ago.
You heard about it a few days ago? Great.
Yes, my children came to me, they were talking about TikTok, and I said, "What's TikTok?" And it's somewhere you do your dance, and she said, "You do that." Okay, and I said, "Okay, can we do the dance together?" And they started laughing at me, and maybe they thought I wouldn't want to get involved or something. So, but sometimes we just mess up like that. We just mess around and say, "Okay, can you teach me how to do this?" Because they know that I can't really dance. Because there's a dance they've been trying to teach me for the past 2 years. I can't remember the name of that the name of that dance, and they just look at me and they're like, so I know about TikTok.
Let me go to France now. Greg and Elise, do you know TikTok?
Oh, roadblocks as
Well, For me, it's a little different because I'm a music teacher.
Oh yeah.
I'm teaching I'm teaching drumming, and I'm teaching kids, teenagers, adults, and everybody. So to teach kids, I find it always interesting to know about what they like, about their needs, about their interests. So, for example, a few years ago, I was quite an expert on Pokemon
On
because I
Pokemon.
knew all of them. Because, well, it's important. This discussion when you discussion with a child of 7 years old,
To do
you've
it.
got to know that. Well, apart so I know the social networks that they're using. I don't know how to use them, no, but I know the social networks. For so in France, in the
Can have smart at
Just
school.
1 second, 1 second, Elise. Someone's got their account kind of loud. I can hear the volume of the background, so it's kind of interfere. If you can turn your volume, not your screen volume, but for the Facebook, if you can turn it down a bit. Very good. So, Elise, you were going to say something there.
It's cool. The children can't bring their smartphone.
Yeah.
till,
It's forbidden.
it's forbidden till 15 or 16 years old. I mean, for high school,
Yeah.
it's forbidden in the high school, so they don't use that. Of course, they use that afterwards
Yeah.
in their free time, but in school it's forbidden. Well, they use social networks. I know about them. I don't use them, but I'm quite aware of how they used it, and I know for our family that Mal doesn't have a smartphone yet. We're still discussing about him. He doesn't need one right now. If he needs something, we'll lend us our smartphone. We develop a trusting relationship with him without social networks and computers. The thing is also on the side is that, for example, because of the lockdown, they're quite a long time. They're spending quite a long time in front of screens.
Yeah. True.
We're trying to sometimes we can't do anything but let them watch what they want on the TV because we've got to work and we're working at the same time. But most of the time we're with them for that. So we're watching the movies with them. About the video games, they're playing quite a lot of video games. Well, but I'm the one who started that at the beginning, so I don't have anything to say. I mean, I'm the one playing.
They're more interested about Minecraft than social
Network.
Yeah. A lot of kids are playing Minecraft now.
Yeah, but it's quite nice actually. It's not something that is it's safe compared to social networks.
So some networks. Okay. Debola Sakina says, from my interactions with young people, Facebook is not an in platform. Young people, young adults, and teenagers are more active on Instagram, Snapchat, and this new one called TikTok, which is the one that we just talked about there now. And I think it's quite important that while we're busy and all that we still make a little bit of time to pay attention to what they're doing and what they're watching. Because at the end of the day, when all of this is over, because this will be over, please God, this will be over soon enough, sooner than we think, that when all of this is over, that we know what to expect. When we step out back into the world, we know what to expect. If you have questions, if you're watching us, if you have questions, please send in your questions. We've got a good few minutes to go. This is the time to send your questions, or if you want to make a few more comments, please send them in, and I will endeavor to take as many comments and as many questions as I possibly can as we go along. I will come to you, Joe and Tom, and I want to come back to that issue of homeschooling. Would you, from your experience of homeschooling, would you recommend it for people? And why? What's for you? What's the advantage over physically going to school within the four walls of a building?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Well, obviously, I would say yes. I would advocate the practice of homeschooling. Now, I know through different groups we're members of with fellow homeschoolers and whatnot. You know, we have friends at homeschool as well in different parts of the world, locally and abroad. And, you know, if you ask each family, they may have different reasons for why they do it. And some, in my experience, even have strong opinions where they almost kind of don't see any other alternative as being healthy for your children. I think definitely it has to be a decision that you make yourself. It can't be something that you're coerced to do from, you know, somebody else. As parents, I think it's fundamentally it's your decision on how you raise and educate your children. You mentioned earlier, I think, about, you know, maybe after this is all over, the pandemic passes, about challenging the status quo. I think there's a lot of things in life generally that we do because we're told to do them. And I think in this country, I can't really speak for other parts of the world, it's kind of like that. It's like when we told people, like relatives, close friends, that we decided to homeschool, you automatically get asked why, and why not public school. But I think as people who homeschool, I think you need to be able to turn the question back to people that ask that as well as to, well, why public school? Why the status quo? And I think one thing I'm of the opinion, I think, like I was publicly educated like most people myself. I wasn't homeschooled, but I think the education system we have today teaches in a lot of respects, and maybe it's changing, but from my memory of it, of what to believe or what to think, but not the why behind it sometimes. And I think that's important when we train up our children. We teach them, you know, one subject I'm conscious of, I never learned in school, and I heard somebody talk about, is the subject of logic. A lot of people don't know logic. They don't know the why behind what they believe. And I think we have a status quo of this is what you're supposed to do just because it's always been or has been done a certain way.
It's the norm. We're used to it. That's the way we've always done things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think before you can decide that you want to homeschool, you have to think about it very well. You have to know why exactly, like you were saying, referring to that why. I think it's very, very important to know and understand why you actually want to do it. Because trust me, it's not easy. You're gonna face a lot of challenges out there. I know what I've been through. Like it's it's not as easy as the way it sounds. Because sometimes I even feel I have no life. You know what I mean? Because my life is dedicated to them. I can be out there making money, extra money. But before you can do it, and before, because with the system, with the government, like they want to know who is the main person. You have to have a full-time person at home that is
So
doing it
one
with
of
them.
the parents has to commit to being
Exactly.
a homeschool teacher.
Exactly. And so he's working full time. So we're able to live on and manage ourselves on that one salary while I am with them. You get what I mean? And at the same time, it's challenging as well because you're on your own. It's not like you're getting any support from the government financially. So you have to buy their books from your own account. At the end of the day, you're investing in your child's life. And you just have to, because at the same time as well, you're going to face challenges from friends, families, even your own family, your immediate family. They're going to question you. Why are you doing it? Like, how are your kids going to interact with other children? That is one of the things I really faced out there.
Can I ask you, Tom and Joe, before I leave you guys, what are the benefits compared to going to public school? What are the benefits? Can you tell us one or two benefits that you have been able to pull out from homeschooling your kids?
Yeah, I think number one benefit that I suppose it's coming to the top of my head right now would be you can educate your individual child according to their giftings, their interests, and also you can tailor it to the level of your individual child. So from seeing my own family, from seeing other homeschooling families, you know, you get testimonies from people saying that, okay, this child that we have took up reading very easily or writing, and it wasn't a challenge for them, and they started very, very early. But then another child in your family may find that particular aspect more difficult and challenging. And like, I think one of the challenges we faced in homeschooling, like just to add to that, would have been, you know, there's a tendency, especially amongst new homeschooling families, that you seem to believe that you could be doing something wrong if, on one hand, one child is not picking things up as quick as another child, or if you find yourself the day going by quickly, where the kids get through all their designated subjects quicker than the normal school time. And to be honest with you, there's no right or wrong answer on that. It really depends on the child's development. And, you know, it's not about keeping up with the Joneses, if you like. And I think another benefit, secondly, would be that, I think my wife mentioned it earlier, is because the child is not sharing a classroom of 20 plus students, they have a lot more attention, and you can get through things quicker. Because if you think about it, your child who's in a class of 20 odd students, for example, if that child, say, is struggling on a particular subject, they may, depending on the child's disposition, they may feel more awkward about raising their hand when all the other kids are getting it easier.
Yeah, especially if they're introverted.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. You know,
ask you, Joe. Let me ask you, and if you could just answer this in one sentence, because we're coming close to the end there now.
Yeah.
What in your opinion, in don't you think that the kids might miss having friends? You know,
yeah,
in the school setting, the normal school setting. I mean, kids come and they say, "Oh, my friend did this, my friend did that today. We're not talking because we argued about something." You know, forming that friendship with kids from outside your home or your street. Don't you think you miss that?
No, that's the short answer. But
quick and short.
No, they don't. But the only thing, and to keep it short at the same time, but to elaborate slightly, is on that, our kids still have friends that they play with in the local community. They've got activities like dance and drama classes, depending on their interest, and they've got friends to that as well.
Connect within the community and make friends.
And they also, we talked about technology earlier, we do allow them technology to keep in touch with their cousins and friends and things like that, that we allow them to call and things like that as well. So.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So when all of this is over, and like I said earlier on, please God, this is over soon enough, because a lot of people are just at the stage where they're beginning to pull hair. And somebody told me today, I think I'm going gray. Just be home with the kids. I think I'm going gray already. So before everybody begins to go gray, we really pray that we're able to fight this thing, and then this is over soon. So when all of this is over, things will change. The world is not going to be the same as we left it. And that's the reality. So we have to start facing this reality. And another thing is that our children will be different. This is a reality that we probably have to start facing as well. So what are your expectations when all of this is over? What are your expectations as parents to have support for your children? What would you hope will be out there to support your children coming out to the new world that we're going to all live in? I'll start with you, Adesanya, in one sentence.
I'll say the COVID-19 it created a bit of awareness regarding hygiene that people haven't taken into consideration before it came about. All of a sudden, we see ourselves washing our hands and sanitizing.
Tell you how many times I've washed my hands already today.
Yes, so we are becoming more health conscious, and you don't want to send a child out after this and they live the way they want to live. After touching a lot of things, they go to having their dinner and they are picking their dinner with the same hands that they've touched stuff with. So they have to come out more educated.
Please God.
Please God. Say something.
Yes, quickly.
I'm gonna be more and more like my mom, because my mom, she is so finicky. When she goes out, you can't, if she wants to touch it, press the button on the lift, she will use a toilet paper to press it.
She's lived like that forever.
Even before COVID. And once she goes into the house, she will wash her hands. She will clean everything. She lives like we're living now. She has always been living like that. So,
and if you're a child, she will literally wash you.
So hopefully, from your end, when all of this is over, we can continue to live a more healthy and clean life, washing our hands,
Yes.
consistently, and our kids will continue
Yes.
to live that. Thanks for sharing that. I'll come to you, Greg and Elise. What are you hoping will be the support out there for our children by the time all of this is over?
How children, all the planets of the children of all the planet have to put the capitalism out and
Let's
have a
fire all the
cooperative.
politicians, because this is why we're in this situation. In a way, the thing is, we don't really know what to expect afterwards. I hope that the world will be better because of the lockdown afterwards, because people who have first realized that the way we're going is in a way a wrong way, about trying to make as much money as possible, about not taking care of the planet, or we're in this way of thinking about it, because we don't see, if it goes back like it was before, we're going to have the same virus every year, because we're going to have the same conditions, the same way of meeting people, and they companies won't close because of the money is being made, and sometimes it feels it's more important than people for the politicians. That's the way we feel about politicians in France, for example. Like we're gonna have one more month of lockdown in France. They're
Wow.
gonna till the mid-May, let's say. But what they plan to do is to start back all the. It might change because it changes every day, but they plan to start all the schools again, all the high schools again, till university again, which means that every kid will be in contact with other kids, and we might have a second wave, or a third one, or fourth one, and everything. And it seems that they want that because they want the parents not to have the kids at home, so that they can start working and bring money again to society.
So we need
So
to think differently.
yes, I think that it's going to change quite a lot of things about the way we're going to think about society as a whole. Like maybe society afterwards might be better because we're start thinking about what's the value in our jobs. Do we need to do that? I'd rather be in some way. We've been discussing quite a lot about homeschooling too.
Very
Different, but we decided to put our kids in public school because of our involvement with our jobs and things that we find interesting.
We love our jobs.
Yes, we've got. I'm a teacher, so I know what it is.
That's good to hear.
But
thank you, guys.
so.
And I have to let you leave it there because we're completely out of time, as it were. It's been so fantastic. And I really want to appreciate you all for your time, for being with my guest on Sharing with Yemi today. This has been an interesting topic. And like I always say, there is no right or wrong answer with some of these things that we're talking about. It's really, we're all trying to make it work because we've never been in this boat before. So thank you all so much for sharing of your experience, what you're doing at home with the kids. A number of people, I'm sure, would have picked up one or two things for all that you've shared today. And I hope that it really helps other people feel relaxed, because there are a number of parents out there who are feeling, oh my God, I'm not getting it right. Look, nobody knows whether they're getting it right or wrong. We're all just trying our best and trying to do the best for our kids, so long as they have their interest at heart. That's the bottom line. Thank you all, guys. Thank you, Greg and Elise. Thank you
You're very welcome.
for your dinner time with us today on Sharing with Yemi. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe and Tone. Thank you for sharing your experience of homeschooling, especially with us. I'm sure a number of people will begin to think about this today. And Wale and Tokumba Adesanya, thank you so much for sharing.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Good night. Take care.
you. Bonne soirée. Au revoir.
Au revoir, bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
I really want to thank my guest all for being on the show today. It's been another incredible edition of Sharing with Yemi. Look, being a parent is not the easiest thing in the world. Perhaps it's even one of the most challenging jobs in the world. Some don't consider it a job, but perhaps it is. It demands a lot from those who are the parents. And at that stage of being a parent, you are the frontliner in your home. And really, you have a responsibility to ensure that those kids who've been put in your care are raised to make you proud. So in this really challenging times, there's no manual to tell us what to do or how to do it. It's really putting, first of all, the interest of the kids right there in our heart and ensuring that whatever we do is in their best interest, and making sure that we're constantly checking that they're okay, body, soul, and spirit. Their mental well-being is key at this point in time, and they need our help and our support to ensure that they're fine by the time all of this is over. I want to say well done to all parents out there. You're doing an incredible job. It's not the easiest of things. So I wanted you to put your hand, lift your hand if you're a parent watching right now as we close. Put your hand right here, right at the back on your shoulder, and give yourself a pat on the back and say, well done. Say your name as you do that. Say, well done, Yemi. You're doing a great job. It's not easy, right? And please God, by the time this is over, our kids would all be fine. And we would have done a really good job. Thank you for joining us and sharing with Yemi again today. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, please keep staying safe. Stay home. God bless you. Bye.